Former Republican presidential nominee Newt Gingrich was at the Nixon Library promoting his new book.
Latin flavor and sex appeal filled the screen for the 2012 Latin Grammy Awards.
Helmets collide as two rival football teams take it to the field. These stories and many more are coming your way on Around and About Orange County News. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Around and About Orange County News. I'm Jarrod Edwards.
And I'm Lele. Welcome to the show.
Local detention centers are known for housing criminals to keep the streets safe.
But a local Orange County detention center houses more than just street criminals. Jarrod Edwards has the story.
Right here in Orange County lies what has been named one of the 10 worst immigration detention centers in America. So close, in fact, you would be surprised to know that it could be on your route to work. The Detention Watch Network, a national coalition that seeks to reform U.S. immigration detention, has named Theo Lacey facility in Orange County as one of the 10 worst immigration detention centers in the nation and is calling for Immigration and Customs Enforcement to end its contract with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. Since 2009, the Orange County Sheriff's Department has leased out beds for immigration detainees, helping the department stave off cuts to personnel and resources. Under the agreement with ICE, the department gets paid $118 per detainee per day. On average, the department receives about $25 million per year from the federal agency. Currently, there are around 480 male immigration detainees at Theo Lacey, with the average stay for an immigration detainee being 100 days.
Theo Lacey is interesting because a lot of people there, I think, have been, green card holders that were in the States that got in trouble with the law and therefore were put there. And so some of them have connections, but their families aren't able to get there. So they were really talking about how it would be useful to them. And just, even within the space of our visit, seeing how detainees responded to having people who weren't officers and weren't immigration folks yelling at them to come in and want to listen and hear them. They were so overwhelmed and welcoming of having us there. I think it really drove home the point of visiting there. So that's one thing we really want to do.
The report details a widespread pattern of abuse, including allegations of staff members kicking and shoving detainees, using racial slurs to describe them, and abusive behavior by kicking their feet in the morning to wake them up, as the report read. There are more than 32,000 individuals in U.S. immigration detention centers. These men, women, and children are held by the U.S. in facilities like this for not having proper documentation. While lacking papers is not a crime, immigrants can face up to several months in facilities like this before they are released. In a news release about the report, ACLU officials said that a detainee died at the facility as a result of staff neglecting the man's medical needs. ICE said Jose Aguilar Espinosa, 55, died early last year after going into cardiac arrest while in custody. Aguilar Espinosa, from Honduras, was being held at Theo Lacey pending deportation. For Rounded About Orange County News, I'm Jarrod Edwards. With an organization bringing light to what immigrants face while being detained, this is the first step to creating better conditions for immigrants should they face deportation. The Orange County Transportation Authority has approved an increase in bus fares to help cover operating costs. The Board of Directors voted 14-2 in favor of the increases. Bus riders will pay more to ride starting February 10, 2013. The regular $1.50 fare will go up 33 cents to $2. The day pass will increase by 25% to $5, and the 30-day pass will increase by 25% to $69. Students and people with disabilities will also see an increase for their bus passes. Former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, came to speak at the Nixon Library about his new book and the state of American politics. Lele has the story.
Ellis the elephant was a big history fan, excited to learn how our nation began. Ellis packed up his trunk and hit Liberty's trail. First stop, Williamsburg, to begin our great tale. And our tale too begins here, and it is a tale of two books, a tale of he said and she said. A tale about American history from two different perspectives. Well, they do have one thing in common. They both bear the Gingrich name. Callista Gingrich is at the Nixon Library to autograph Land of the Pilgrim's Pride, the second installment in the children's book series she authored, while her hubby Newt came along to tell all about victory at Yorktown, the grand finale in his retelling of the Revolutionary War. Well, okay, he also gave a speech and got a standing ovation from the crowd. But let's back up a bit. Newt started by explaining the psychology of George Washington.
The only time in the entire Revolutionary War that Washington behaves with enormous emotion is the morning that they sight the French fleet.
Then he analyzed Republican failure to thrive in the recent election.
You want to know why you don't get very many Latino votes? Why don't you start by visiting people who are Latinos? You want to know why you got even fewer Asian votes than Latino votes? Go, for example, to the Korean community in Los Angeles.
Then he got some tough questions.
Has Congress ever considered taking a pay cut in order to show good faith to the American people?
Yes, I think in 1933.
And that, ladies and gents, was the former Speaker of the House and 2012 presidential candidate, the quick-witted Newt Gingrich. Now, on to the exciting part, where Newt's patient audience gets to meet him and his lovely lady in person, and bring home some signatures as souvenirs. Callista's rhyming picture book will surely help kids learn.
This is a really good way to teach children about American history.
But will anyone read Newt's new novel?
I absolutely would. Yeah, it's always best to learn more, you know.
Well, there you have it. Reading and learning are good. Now that's something even presidential candidates can't argue about. But I wouldn't put that to the test. This is Lele in Yorba Linda for Around and About Orange County News.
Politics aside, Newt and Callista's books will hopefully engage and educate the public about our nation's rich history.
Police need help finding two men involved in the stabbing of two brothers in Costa Mesa Sunday night. The victims, ages 18 and 24, were approached and asked what gang they belonged to by two men in their 20s who police suspect are gang members. Both were attacked with a knife. The 24-year-old received a hip injury, while the 18-year-old was taken to the hospital in critical condition with a wound near his neck and is now in stable condition. Police are still investigating the attack.
The city of Fullerton celebrates Veterans Day by having a yearly parade and ceremony. Our reporter Alexis Acosta has the story on this year's celebration.
Harbor Boulevard was shut down for a parade to honor all veterans from all wars, young and old. Crowds lined the streets, and everyone wore red, white, and blue to support their veterans.
Going down Harbor Boulevard and when the people are saying, you know, thank you very much for your service, and all, it just means a lot to all of us. And it just very special. And also marching down Fullerton, the Harbor Boulevard, the high school band is right behind us that we went to high school. So yeah. How special is that? Yes. It's great.
For some veterans, the parade and ceremony gave them the love and support that they never received when returning home. A lot of Vietnam vets were treated poorly when returning home. They were called murderers and put down for going out and fighting for their country. Now, veterans are praised. Americans support their troops, and the parade helps show them more appreciation that they deserve.
Back then, when I was coming home and I was on the bus, the only one that came and said thank you was World War II veteran. Other than that, nobody said anything, and it was so. This is very heartwarming for us today, and we're so glad that people came to thank us.
Reporting in Fullerton for Around and About Orange County News, I'm Alexis Acosta.
Thank you, Alexis. What a great way to show veterans that their hard work is appreciated.
Reports of a suspicious device and an explosion prompted the Orange County Bomb Squad to close the 500 block of South State College Boulevard in Anaheim Tuesday night. Residents described hearing a loud noise and seeing bright flashes. Police found an additional device in a parking lot nearby. Some residents were evacuated, but the bomb squad later determined the device was a commercial firework launcher. One Santa local never thought he would be looked at as a positive influence, but his skills show otherwise. Alexander Avalos has the story.
The city of Santa Ana has a great tradition of people and culture, but really never gets the recognition for positive influences to the community. One man on Washington Avenue and Custer Street has taken the side of La Chiquita Market's wall and has turned it into a neighborhood masterpiece. Carlos Aguilar never thought that his simple idea was going to turn into what it did. It all started out with just the green soldier and the eagle, and now Carlo feels so good about his work because he used the only thing he had, his brush.
I just want to thank everybody, and especially the vets and all those people that are they're active duty right now. And that's how I can help with my brush. That's all I have to give.
Carlos Aguilar has a big heart, and he wishes that he could put everybody on that mural, but he only has limited space.
It's hard to turn somebody down, especially when they have stories like Mr. Alex, and they tell me their story, and they're willing to sit down and share their story with me. It's kind of hard just to, okay, no, sorry.
I think it's a great dedication, not only to the neighborhood, but mainly to the veterans who fought in the, World War II. I'm a veteran myself, and so I take a lot of pride in knowing that, they're being acknowledged. I just think it brings more pride to the neighborhood.
Carlos Aguilar might not have realized his talent as a youth, but now in the community, people can say that Carlos' work is a gift. Dad, we love you and are proud of what you have accomplished. America will always be indebted to you and our fellow servicemen and women for answering the call and keeping us free, for you are truly an American of the greatest generation. Reporting to you for Around and About Orange County News, I am Alexander Avalos.
All it takes is one man's vision and art to change the lives of many. Sheriff Sandra Hutchins will remain at her top position of the Orange County Sheriff Department despite her recent cancer diagnosis. In a press conference on Monday, Hutchins announced she was diagnosed with breast cancer on November 9th. She will undergo an aggressive treatment that includes chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. She says she's optimistic about the treatment and plans to be fully engaged in her position. She also noted that she plans to run for another term in 2014.